morning, students. This is Anjali, Assistant Professor, Department of CAC, AIML, IARE, Hyderabad. Today we are discussing a question bank related to communicating data. So, our first question is that, what are some of the problems that may arise when trying to visualize data using charts and the graphs? Communicating data means just we can say the transfer of the information from source to destination, so it will be very easy to understand by the public or by the audience. And here we can use the visualization by using different techniques. First, in this question we have to find out the problems which are arising whenever you are trying to visualize your data by using some charts and the graphs. Charts and graphs, we are very familiar with those. So first one is that misleading color contrast. Definitely, whenever we are talking about the charts and the graph, its color will come there. So color is the most persuasive design elements. Actually, even certain shade variations elicit the strong emotional responses. We will keep the data in the form of the shades, in the form of the color. We can show the, like, for example, different states we have to show different colors. So here color is very matter. One of the challenges in the data visualization is that the high degrees of the color contrast, and this can cause viewers to believe that value disparities are greater than they really are. The next one is that improper use of 3D graphics. So two-dimensional representation of three-dimensional space have captivated viewers for centuries. But generally, the 3D graphics pose two serious problems. For that, actually, these 3D graphics have some problems which are nowadays we are facing. The first one is that occlusion occurs when one 3D graphics partially blocks another. And the another one is that distortion occurs when 3D graphics recede into or project out from the picture plane through foreshortening. So, first one is that occlusion occurs when one 3D graphic partially blocks another. That means it is just the result of the mimicking space, which is available in natural world and where objects have different coordinates like x, y, z. And a distortion occurs when 3D graphics recede into or project out from the picture plane through foreshortening. That means it's showing the foreshortening makes some object through they inhabit three-dimensional space, but in data visualization generally they creates more false hierarchies. Then next one is that too much data. It's timeless design problem. Now what to include versus and what to cut in the quest to communicate clearly. Definitely in this situation we are not able to decide what we have to include and what we have to cut. So it's one of the challenges of the visualization, and especially when data is both abundant and through provoking. Then next one is that omitting baselines and truncating the scales. So data varies sometimes, like when measuring income levels or voting habits according to geographic reasons. In an effort to make visualization more dramatic or aesthetically pleasing, designers may choose to manipulate scale values on graphs. Then next one is biased text descriptions. So the act of the suggestion art persuasion, and here tell someone what they should see in an image and they probably will. So the next step accompanies visualization, like they will support to copy tables, copy titles, labels, and some captions also. That means it can give the viewers objective context, not manipulate their perception of the data. Then next one, choosing the wrong visualization method. Here we have to aware that which visualization method we have to use. Each data visualization method has its own use cases. So for instance, generally pie charts mean compare the different parts of the whole, then they will They work very well for budget breakdowns and the survey result, but are not meant to make comparisons between the separate data sets. Then confusing correlations. So visualizing correlations between data set is very helpful, but way to give viewers a broader understanding of the topic. So one-way correlation are shown is by the overlaying data set on the same graph, and when correlations are carefully considered, overlays lead to moments. So when overlays are excessive in numbers, so it's very difficult for viewers to draw the connection. Then next one is zooming in on favorable data. So data and time both are inseparable. So it's possible to zoom in on time frames and show the data that reflects favorably on broader narratives. So visualizing financial performance is common culprit, and the chart shows the strong numbers over short period and making it seem as though a business is thriving. So unfortunately, we can say that zoom out reveals that company only experienced a minor upswing in a sharp and extended decline. Then shrink common visual association. So visual design elements like impact human psychology. So icons, color, scheme and font all carry connotations that affect your perception. So whenever designers ignore this association or skew them in favor of creative expressions, so it rarely goes well. So these are the just common problems we are facing while choosing the charts and the graph. So first one was misleading color contrast. Second one, improper use of 3D graphics. Third one, too much data. Fourth one, omitting baselines and truncating the scales. Biased text descriptions. Choosing the wrong visualization method. Then next one, confusing correlations. Zooming in on favorable data. And last one, chewing common visual association. Then next one, describe the importance of the communication. We can say that the communication is heart of any organization. Again, we can say it is the way of the transferring of the data. So everything you do in the workplace from result communication. So while developing your career, you will get to know why communication is important. So communication is very important. So communication is very important in different fields, in different sectors. So first one is that in the organization, how communication is very important in the organization. Let's see, communication plays very important role in the management of any organization. Definitely, without communication, we can't manage any organization. It can't. We can't manage our organization. We can't transfer our data. We can't transfer our views also. So, as it is tool for sharing some thoughts, ideas, opinions, plans in various parts of organization. So, this communication containing some elements like we can say thoughts, ideas, opinions, and the plans. So when your communication is good, at that time it's very easy to keep all these things in front of the public or in front of the audience also. So good communication is required not only in the building relationships but also for a successful business also. So communication helps to increase the efficiency at the workplace. Then next one is that importance for individuals. Actually, communication is important to express oneself. It's very necessary also. It is very necessary to express oneself, and it also satisfies one's needs. So one should have effective communication for advancement in career. Definitely we can say that there should be effective communication. And in your personal life, effective communication skills can smooth your way and your relationship with others by helping you to understand the others and to be understood. Then next one, to secure an interview. To secure yourself in the interview, you should communicate confidently and clearly. Definitely while going on the interview, so your communication should be very proper. and you have to communicate confidently and very clearly. Good communication skill always help you to get selected for the job. Then next one for motivation. Communication is basic tool for the motivation, and this can improve the morale of the people. Then increase the productivity. So if you have effective communication, good communication, then with that you can maintain your relationship and it will help to increase the productivity. Next one is to develop professionalism in students. So in future student will become doctors and they need to be communicate effectively with their patients. So obviously they need empathy, friendliness in their profession for interacting with the patients. So in future student will become political or business entrepreneur, leaders. In all these fields they need to communicate effectively. So with this your professionalism is also, professional communication also will get improved. To increase the quality of being friendly with others. So it's important to be friendly with others, and good communication will help to build your strong friendship, strong relationship. It will give the confidence, and in this way, if you will communicate very effectively, so it will enhance the ability to understand, to share the feelings of each other. So it's very important to make the friendly relationship. And again, we can say that the communication plays major role in promoting the life of an individual. So these are the importance of communication. In importance of communication, we have seen that in the organization, communication plays very important role in the management of the organization. Then importance of the individual. Then it's very important to express oneself. It's very important to express our ideas, our plans. So it will help to understand the others. Then next one, to secure interview. With the good communication, it will help to secure your interview to get the selected for the job. Then for motivation also, it is very important for improving the morale of the people. Then increase the productivity. If you have good communication, you are maintaining the relationship, then it will help to increase the productivity, to develop the professionalism in the student. So if you have good communication, effective good communication, friendly relation, you can maintain the friendly relation. So and we can easily understand, we can convey our message to particular audience. Then to increase the quality of being friendly with others, with the good communication we can build our good relationship, good friendship. So it will give the confidence, and it will improve the way of talking and way of communicating. Next one is, what are the critical elements of visualization that we can use to illustrate data stories? Now there are different elements for the elements for effective data storytelling. First one is audience. Audience is very important element for the communication. First, there is need to understand your audience, and you have to create effective data story for them, because you should consider here audience background knowledge, audience interest, and the motivations when selecting the data and the crafting the narrative. So definitely here first you need to understand your audience, what they want and how they are. So according to that, you can convey your message to them. Then next one is the narrative. The narrative structure can help to make data more compelling and understandable. So if our data is a narrative, then definitely it will make your data compelling, then understandable, and the story should have a clear beginning, middle, and end, and should be focused on central problem or the question. So that story should have particular begin, how do you are beginning your story, middle, and ending. It's very important, and you should not move from your particular topic. You should stick with your problem, with the topic, and you should understand, you should focus particular problem on the question. Then next one is the data. And data should be accurate. It should be relevant and reliable. So it should support your story and help to provide evidence for the main argument. Then next one is visuals. Visuals, like we can say the charts, graphs and the maps. All can help to make the data more accessible and understandable. And the visual should be chosen based on story needs and should be clear and easy to interpret. So if you are presenting the story, though, so at that time your visuals also should be clear, and visuals you have to use also charts, graphs and maps you can use, and with these charts, graphs and maps, people can understand, audience can understand, and it will be very easy to access. Then next one is the emotion. Actually, emotion can help to engage the audience and make the story more memorable. Definitely, if there are emotions, so automatically you can engage your audience and you can make the story more memorable. So if you will include the personal anecdotes, case studies or testimonials, they will help to bring the data to life and connect with the audience on the emotional level. Then call to action. A call to action can help to inspire the audience to take action based on the insights provided by the data. The call to action should be specific, realistic, achievable, and should be aligned with story's main message. So these are elements of the visualization. Elements of visualization is containing the audience, narrative, data, then visuals, emotions, and a call to action. Then next one, what is the most crucial factor in verbal communication? There are so many factors which are very important. So first one is that think before you speak. So by organizing your thoughts in advance, you can eliminate many of the awkward pauses that occur when speaking. It will also help you relay your information more consciously. So here, before speaking, you have to think. We have to think? That means what we have to say, which message we have to convey to our audience, and what the audience want. What are the requirements for the audience? So everything you have to think before the speaking. And even there should be pauses also. You have to eliminate, you have to remove your awkward pauses also. Then next one is speak with confidence. So speaking in confident manner will help you build trust and command the respect of your audience. If you will speak very confidently, so automatically you can build trust and command the respect of your audience. So there are some factors which can impact your ability to speak confidently, including like command of the subject matter, your word choice, tone of your voice, then your body language, your ability to make direct eye contact with your audience. Then next one is be clear and concise. So most effective way to get your point across is to make it in a clear and concise manner. So avoid using some complex and convoluted sentences. Even you have to try to state your argument in the direct language. So before speaking, first you have to ask yourself, what is the clearest way I can make my point? This question you have to ask to yourself. Then your views will be clear and concise. Then next one is be aware of your non-verbal communication cues. So your body language significantly impacts the way others interpret what you say. So pay attention to the gestures you make, your facial expressions and your body language to ensure they align with the message you are trying to get across. So here you have to aware about your non-verbal communication. So body language, we can talk about the body language. Your body language impacts the way others interpret what you say. and you have to pay the attention to your gesture, your facial expression, body language. Then next one is be a good listener. So being good listener is very important as being a good speaker, and it will improve the quality of your verbal interactions. So it shows the people you are speaking with that you genuinely care about their ideas. It helps to ensure you understand their needs, and this will enable you to build the trust and rapport much quicker. So if you are a good listener, then definitely it will improve the quality of your verbal interactions also, because of that it will help to understand the requirement of the audience, and it will enable to build a trust and a rapport much quicker. Then next one, think about the perspective of your audience. Just because of you have a strong command on particular topic, it doesn't mean that the people you are speaking to have the same knowledge as you. So try to think about how someone else will understand and what you are trying to communicate. So particularly if they lack the technical knowledge about subject that you possess. So here definitely you have to think about the perspective of your audience, because you as a speaker and the audience both don't have a there is no chance to chance to that both of will get the same knowledge of particular topic. So definitely you have to think about how someone will understand what you are trying to communicate. Then next one is vary your vocal tone. So speaking in monotone voice is sapphire way to bore your audience. If you will speak in the same pitch, so definitely at that time your audience will get the bored. So instead of using this voice inflection to add emphasis to important point, vary your pitch according to your voice, according to the sentence, according to the situation, express the emotions. So at that time you can communicate with your audience very properly, and you can keep the engage to audience with you. So these are some factors which are included in the verbal communication. Think before you speak. Speak with the confidence. Next, be clear and concise. Fourth one, be aware of your non-verbal communication cues. Next one, be a good listener. Sixth, think about the perspective of your audience. Next, vary your vocal tone. So these are the factors. Now next one is, how does correlation different than the causation? The correlation between variables, however, does not automatically mean the change in one variable is cause of the change in the values of the other variable. So causation generally indicate one event is a result of the occurrence of the other event. So there is a causal relationship between the two events. Now next one is, Jenny has been requested her manager to make an oral presentation on the proposed good governance in business performance during the company's annual general meeting. So summarize the factors that Jenny should consider when planning for each of the following stages of oral presentation. So here you have to use the for some requirement list, and you have to focus on it. First, you have to check for the situation. Plan to explain to the class what the situation of your oral report is, who you are, who they should imagine they are. So make sure that there is a clean break between the brief explanation and the beginning of your actual oral report. Then next one, timing. Here you have to make sure your oral report lasts no longer than the time limit time allotted. So your instructor will work out some signals to indicate when the mark is approaching, has arrived or has passed. Then next one, introduction. Pay special attention to the introduction to your talk. So there is somewhere you tell your audience what you are going to tell them. So first, it will indicate the purpose of your oral report. Then it will give the overview of its contents and then find some way to interest the audience. Then next one is visuals. Use at least one visual. So preferably slides using the presentation software, like we can say the PowerPoint or transparencies for the overhead projector. So flip chart and the objects for display are okay, but you have to avoid the scribbling stuff on the chalkboard or whiteboard or relying strictly on the handouts. Then explanation. Now, here you have to plan to explain some technical aspect related to your topic and that should be very clear and understandable. So don't race through complex and technical stuff. Slow down and explain it carefully so that we can understand it. Then next one is the transitions. Now you have to use the verbal headings. Like by now you have gotten used to using the headings in your written work. There is a corollary in oral report. So with this, you can give your audience a very clear signal you are moving from one topic to another part of your talk to next. So your presentation visual can signal your headings. Then next one is planning. So plan your report in advance and practice it so that it is very organized and it will look like very organized. So make sure that listeners know what you are talking about and why, which part of the talk you are in and what's coming next. So overviews and the verbal headings greatly contribute to this sense of the organization. Now closing. Now end with the real conclusion. Here you have to keep your conclusion very clear. So people sometimes can forget to plan how to end an oral report and end by just trailing off into a mumble. So here you have to conclude your topic very proper manner. So remember that conclusion. Remember that in conclusions you can like summarize. Summarize means you have to go back and you have to cover the points in shortly. Then next conclude. State some logical conclusion which are based on what you have presented. Then provide some last thought. So end with some final interesting point, but general enough not to require elaboration. Or we can say some combination of these three. You can use the summarize, conclude and provide some last thought also. Now questions. And certainly you will want to prompt the audience for questions and a concern. And again timing as mentioned above, we are very sure about our oral report, so it should finish on particular time. So some ideas on how to work within allotted time frame are presented in the next section. So next one is identify 6 factors that our entrepreneurs should consider to make audio visual communication effective. So first, teaching objective must cover the type of behavior change, gaining information, changing your attitude and learning some skill. Then next, the nature of the subject matter being taught, like the nature of the audience, it contains the age, education, interest, experience, knowledge of the subject, intelligent level of the group and the size of the audience. For instance, flashcards can be used for the small group only and motion pictures for large audience. Then ads must be easy to handle and transport, and it should be clean, attractive and clean. Relative cost of various aids. Effective aids need not necessarily be the costly, and the extension worker makes use indigenous material when the teaching aid is not available for the presentation. The next one is that what makes an effective graph data visualization. So good data visualization should communicate data set very clearly and effectively by using some graphics, like we can say charts, graph and maps. So best visualization make it easy to understand, easy to comprehend the data at the glance. Then they take complex information and break down in a way that makes it simple for the target audience to understand and on which to base their decision. Then next one is successful data visualization will be achieved when these four elements are present, like data, story, goal, and visual inform. So successfully means data visualization that work, and that is good visualization. So four elements like visual form, data, story, and the goal. Visual form is showing that obvious, but remember all the visualization are metaphors that can be good, bad, or hopeless also. So then data, ideally this will be compatible within the chosen visual form. Then story, creating relationship between the data and the element 4. And goal, it typically to persuade, enable a decision. Next, explain a ways to improve your data science communication skill. So first one, identify your audience and speak their language. First, it's very important. This point is very important. Tailoring a communication to your audience can increase the likelihood that recommendation will be convincing. To make the strongest appeal among business stakeholders, consider understanding who they are and what their priorities are. And companies' decision makers are very busy with many priorities competing with their attention, especially in fast growing companies. So here definitely first you have to identify your audience. You have to check what are the requirements of them. Then after that, first you have to understand who they are. So everything here you have to find out about the audience, and you have to speak their language. That means that language should be very understandable to them. Then next one is use the TLDR approach to clearly communicate what matters. One way to grab your audience attention and highlight the relevance of the insight of business is to use TLDR approach. What is TLDR approach? Too long, didn't read at the beginning of the every analysis. So this approach is very clear. That is concise summary of the content, and that frames the essential insights in the context of impact on key business metrics. Now, and it will help to the bottom line, making it easier for the company's decision makers to recognize the value of your insights and to learn more. Then next one, use visualizations whenever applicable, like spreadsheets, illustrations, graph, and charts. We can use and we can work wonders with these things. So today's computers, like including laptop and many tablet, smartphone, everything, they come preloaded with intuitive design applications. So utilize this application to your advantage, to get the benefits whenever applicable, as they can make it easy to display the data sets, highlight statistics, draw the attention to the most critical points you are trying to make. Next one is gather questions and the feedback. Before you finalize your project or end your report, consider soliciting direct feedback from your audience. And it doesn't matter if you have to prompt them to ask you questions if they are impatient to put your knowledge to the test. This form of the interaction can help you to improve your communication skill. You can establish the successful career as a data scientist. So definitely you have to gather the questions and feedback from the audience. Then next one is use a structured communication strategy. So structured communication strategy can go a long way in the driving alignment with your audience. Now we have to consider here three steps for the communication strategy. First one, telling your audience the subject of your presentation. Then actually telling your audience, and the next one is synthesizing what they are just told. So this communication strategy is very beneficial for a meeting with the cross-functional participants, and analytics recommendation insights insights can sometimes get technical, granular, and making it harder for all participants to follow along successfully. Then using a framework to communicate the 5 W's. 5 W's means what, who, why, where, and when. This will help you provide the consistency to the communication and allow you to put insights into context. Now focus on the result. Make sure not to get bogged down with the technical details on the specific project. So don't overload your audience with information from the beginning. So instead, start by drawing attention to the result and work backward rather than explaining the technical requirements or specification of the new process or application. Consider the final benefits, and this will allow you to capture your audience attention immediately and help you address any other concern and gain the necessary approval. Next one is continue communication until the recommended actions are complete. So as a we can say as a data scientist, sometimes you may move to the other project after sharing your insights, but this may can create some disconnect between you and the team executing those insights, causing delays or sometimes misinterpretation and driving the suboptimal result. So this will minimize this risk. It's crucial to have proactive the communication plan for later stages of the project. Now, for analysis driving actionable insights, you have to ensure that communication channels are open and you can conduct the regular follow-ups can help keep the track of the progress and the provide efficient execution. So these are the references. You can go through this. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.